To make the pink one, I use this Kinko Curiosity double knitting yarn. It's lightweight 3. The color is Purple Haze, or shade number 2891. There are 150 grams in here, approximately 524 yards or 400 meters. It is 100% premium acrylic. And I used almost the whole cake. This is what I had left of the cake. I just caked it up. And I used a 5.5 millimeter hook. So you can use whatever weight yarn you would like to use. And for the actual tutorial, I used this Craft Smart Value yarn. I got it at Michael's. It's 198 grams, 354 yards. This one is a medium 4 weight. Medium 4, 100% acrylic. And this colorway is gray. I used almost the whole skein. This is all I had left. And I used a 5.5 millimeter hook for this one. So you will also need scissors to cut your yarn, darning needle to sew your ends in, and if you want, a couple of stitch markers, and that would be just to mark your corners so you could find them easier when you come around. See how this goes, like this, and then down. That's our corner. We have one on each side. All right, thank you. We're going to make a chain that's of an even number, and we're going to be working in the round. Now, this chain has to fit over your head kind of tightly, and then because you're going to move it down, this is going to be the neck, the turtleneck, and it's going to stretch out over time, right? That's what crochet items do. So, yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to make a chain of 58. The 3-weight done, the 3-weight yarn I used, I made a chain of 60. So this is a 4-weight I'm working with here. So I'm going to make it a chain of 58, and I'm not going to chain very loosely. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now make it into a circle. Now we're going to chain 1, and for the first, let's see, I'm going to chain 1. My tail's in the way. Here, let's move it like this. There we go. Chain 1. For the first 2 rows, I'm going to be making a single crochet all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to end up having 58 single crochets. I'm going to mark this first single crochet. Because we don't want to accidentally go into that chain, but I don't always mark it, I just see where it is. Okay, so make a row of single crochets. Okay, then I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I have my 58 single crochets, and then we're going to slip stitch into that first one we made. I can take that stitch marker out now. Okay, and then chain 1. And then we're going to do the same thing, single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And I'll meet you at the end of this row. Now at the end of that row, slip stitch into that first single crochet you made. We can remove our stitch marker. Okay, chain one, and then what we're going to do in the next several rows, let me show you my other one. We're going to be doing half double crochets. Okay, now the number of rows you make with your half double crochet will depend on how you want your turtleneck to fit, and I've made it super long so that I can double it over for those, you know, those crazy Canadian winters. Yeah, doubled it over. So yeah, so let's do that. Let's make a whole bunch of half double crochet rows. Okay, so I've chained one, and I'm going to go back into that stitch with a half double crochet. Okay, then I'm going to mark that stitch. And I'm going to continue making half double crochets all the way around. And whatever number of chains you made, that's the number of stitches you're going to have going around. Like I did a chain of 58, so I'll have 58 stitches going all the way around each row for the turtleneck part of it. Okay, I'll meet you at the end of this row. Now we're at the end of that first half double crochet row. I'm going to take out my stitch marker, slip stitch to close it off. Okay, so to get started on the next half double crochet row, chain one, put a half double crochet in that very first stitch and in every stitch after. When I come back, I'll tell you how many rows I made. And so it's, like I said, it's going to be a turtleneck if you want, like a turtleneck that folds over if you want. You don't have to have it fold over, but that's the way I did mine. So I'm going to do row after row after row. And like I always suggest in my tutorials, try it on at certain points, you know, to see if it's going to be right, if it's going to fit you properly and cover the places it should. So yeah, just continue on. I'll tell you how many rows I made with this 4-weight yarn when I return. I've made 19 rows of half double crochets, and this measures from here down to here, about 8 inches. This will cover my nose and right down to the bottom of my neck. And then of course you could fold it over so that it's, if you don't want to pull it up, if it's not that cold out, you can fold it over. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make some increases so that our item will go over our shoulders, out and over our shoulders. So what we're going to do, I have 58 chains, so we're going to minus 2. That's minusing where our increases will be. So 58 minus 2 is 56, and then I'm going to divide it by 2, which will equal 28. All right, so let's do that. Let's see. I want to continue on with this crocheting here. Yeah, so okay, so that's about in the middle. So what I'm going to do is, where's my other stitch marker? I'm going to mark it somewhere near the both sides, roughly in the middle of both sides. Now what I'm going to do is count between those stitch markers. I'm going to count 28. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, and 28. And then I'm going to just move my stitch marker over 1 because we want to have 28 stitches in between each stitch marker. So let's just check on this side to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Okay, so we're even Steven. Okay, so now we're just going to continue on with, actually, no, we're not going to do, we're not going to be doing half double crochets now. We're going to switch over to double crochets. Okay, so just make a double crochet in that first stitch right where you left off with your yarn. Now I'm not doing half double crochets because this part is going to be under your jacket, so you don't need it as thick as you would the part that's keeping your neck and nose warm. So half double crochet in every stitch all the way till we get to our stitch marker, and then I'll show you what to do there. All right, I'm at my stitch marker, and in there we're going to put 2 V-stitches separated by a chain 2. Okay, so the V-stitch is going to be double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. That's our first V-stitch, and then we're going to chain 2. That'll be a chain 2 separation because we're going to put another V-stitch in that same stitch. So double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. All right, so we have a V-stitch, a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then we have a chain 2, which is going to separate these 2 V-stitches. Next V-stitch, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. All right, so then we're going to go into the next stitch with a double crochet, do a double crochet in every stitch until you get to the next stitch marker. Here we are at the next stitch marker. This is our next corner. There's only going to be 2 corners. So we're going to do the same thing we did in the other one. Make the 2 V-stitches, sorry, separated by a chain 2. All right, so double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and then make another V-stitch, a double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. Okay, and then continue on making your double crochets in all the stitches until we get to the beginning of our row. Oopsies. And I'll see you there. We're at the end of that first double crochet row, so I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of that double crochet, chain one, and then we're going to do another row of double crochets. The rest of it will be double crochets and V stitches. So continue making your double crochets in this next row until you get to the V stitches in the corner. Here we are at the next corner. I just put my second last double crochet in. We need a double crochet in that next double crochet. So now we have our V stitches. So every row you're going to be putting a V stitch into the V stitch until I tell you to stop. Okay. V stitch into the V stitch. And then that center chain 2, put 2 V stitches separated by a chain 2. Okay, V stitch, chain 2, V stitch again in that same space like before. V stitch in the V stitch. Okay, so we put our V stitches where they go. V stitch in the V stitch there. So our next double crochet is right here. That's part of our V stitch. So we'll put double crochet on top of that one, double crochets all around to get to the end of this row. So next time you come around, you're going to put a V stitch in the V stitch, V stitch in the V stitch. Okay, let me just spread this out, see what I'm doing. V stitch in the V stitch, V stitch in the V stitch. That's your chain 2 space in between these 2 V stitches. So you put 2 V stitches in there, separated by a chain 2. Go this V stitch, put a V stitch. Go this V stitch, put a V stitch, and then start doing your double crochets. So I'll meet you after a few rows and let you know how many I did. Now when you try your item on, like in this picture right here, and you see that the corners are starting to droop over your shoulder, over the end of your shoulder, that's when we want to stop doing the increases. Okay, so here I am at one of the increases here. We have the V stitch, chain 2, V stitch, all in that same V stitch right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a V stitch in that first V stitch. Okay, and then we have this chain 2 right in between. We're going to ignore that. We're going to go right over top of that. We're going to go into the next V stitch with a V stitch. Okay, see what we've done there? Okay, let me get this out of the way. Okay, we put a V-stitch in that first V-stitch. We've ignored that chain 2. Just go right past it. Put a V-stitch in that next V-stitch. Okay, and then put a V-stitch in every V-stitch after that, and in every double crochet, put a double crochet on top of it. Okay, V-stitch in every V-stitch, double crochet just like before, and then when you get to your other corner, you'll do the same thing. You'll put a V-stitch in that first V-stitch, ignore that chain 2, just go right over top, put a V-stitch in the next V-stitch. And that is going to be your repeat until your item is as long as you need it to be, which would be just above your underarms, because we're making this to go under a jacket, so we need our arms to have room under there, right? All right, so continue on with that, make it as long as you need it, and I'll meet you there. Now here we are, we've come around to that corner. Remember where we ignored that chain 2 space right there? And we just put a V-stitch in this V-stitch, skipped over that chain 2, and then put a V-stitch in the V-stitch. So now all we do is put V-stitches in the V-stitches. Okay. Yeah, it took some figuring out and lots of frogging and to get it to work, and now that I've done the figuring out, you don't have to do it yourself. All right, so V-stitch and V-stitch, and then we'll take a look at it when I'm done this V-stitch. Oh, maybe I'll do another one. I'll do a V-stitch in the next one as well. Okay. Now, do you see what's happening? I don't know if you can see. It's kind of, this is the top of your shoulder, and then it's starting to go down the end of your shoulder. Yeah, you can see it better here, I think. Yeah. Right there. It's going to go down your shoulder. It's going to go down your arm. And yeah. So there we go. That's how to stop the increases. And I'm stubborn. I want to figure it out myself and not go looking at other people's tutorials to figure it out. So, or to watch how they did it. I like to try to figure things out on my own and then let you know what I've discovered and help you along the way. All right, so continue on making it the length that you require. Now I have it the length that I want, so you just finish it off with a slip stitch, chain 1. You could put a single crochet row or something around here if you want, but this is going to be under your jacket, so nobody's really going to see it. So let's just cut this off and weave it in. And then I am going to put a single crochet row around the neckline. Okay, our tail is sewn in. Okay, so here's our neckline. I think I'll start right here where this end is here, and just go right over top of that. Start over here somewhere. You can start wherever you want. It's up to you. Okay, pull through, chain 1, go back into that very same stitch, and I'm going to go over both of these tails. Let's see, pull them tight. Alright, yeah, so just go into every chain around, making a single crochet. You could do something a little fancier up here if you like. Okay, not sure what happened there. Okay. We'll see you at the very end of this row. I'm at the end of that single crochet row. Just slip stitch into that first single crochet, chain 1, cut your yarn, weave your end in, and you are done. You are done. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment if you would like to, and only positive things on this channel and funny things too. So yeah, we're just going to weave in our end. We're done. Right now. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And there we go. Okay. Stay warm, everyone.